Welcome to Captain of Industry. My name is Corporal Hobbs, and we are back in episode 15 now. So, today's episode is going to be all about titanium, aluminum, hopefully setting up electronics 4, and setting up our space program. So, let's take a look at what I've been up to. So, I added in sour water stripping, or the sour water for slag. So that's what this cargo dock is for. I just have some storages over here for sour water, and then this pipe runs to our refinery over here. So just some sour water strippers going, making some extra ammonia, which we are pumping back into the refinery to keep our fertilizer 1 going at 100%. So that's working. I've expanded out the acid and hydrogen production in preparation for what we're going to get into today. That's what all this stuff is out here. The other thing I did was I moved the gold mine. So the gold mine had dug out everything that was available at the height 2. So I set up a train station for the gold mine, just like I did with limestone. And then they've started digging down and getting everything ready. The other thing I did was add in a wood train. So now we have a train available to carry all the wood. The nuclear power is running. I have the MOX reactor set to computer control. So the AI is running it, keeping it, reducing the amount of MOX that we're using to hopefully reduce the amount of stored MOX that we have on hand. Hopefully we don't need to expand the storage for it, but we might need to. I got the rest of the train tracks laid. So now this is all the way connected through to uranium. So we have our uranium mine over here. These guys are doing their thing. I added in our titanium mine in preparation for today. So we have our mine over here. These guys are just digging down into the bottom to start digging out the titanium mine. So that's ready to go. And then for aluminum, I got the bauxite mine going. So it's right over here next to coal. So these guys are just digging in, getting everything going. And what else did I do? I set up some little productions for stuff that we are going to need today. So cooking oil, we're going to need that. So I have a little production of that going just using our waste canola. So that's good. And then what else? I expanded out the diamonds. So we are up to, I think, 32 or 36 diamond reactors. So making plenty of diamonds for everything. And then I moved the rain collectors or rain harvesters back a little bit to make some more room over here. Let's see, what else was there? I think there was one more thing. Maybe. Our titanium and bauxite is hooked up over here. I have everything going over here to these storages. I couldn't find a way to fit in storage over here. So this will have to do for now. But speaking of that, let's look at our titanium and aluminum. So this blueprint I built in between episodes. I made a little mini series on how to design production chains. And this was the blueprint I came up with in the part 2 of that video. So if you want to, you can check that out and see how I came up with this design. And then after that video, I came up with a aluminum add-on. So that's available as well for my members. So both of these blueprints are in there ready to go. But let's start walking through the process. So basically on this side, I have limestone going in, slag coming out, sulfur going in, bauxite going in, and titanium going in. So that's everything here. This side I have salt, graphite, and water going in. And then over here we have titanium alloy out, steel out, aluminum out. We can run aluminum scrap in, fuel gas in, and then seawater over here on this side in this pipe. And the way this system is designed is we will take our titanium ore, so we'll go through the titanium process. So titanium ore gets crushed, those go into the arc furnaces with that titanium ore crushed. That's how we get our titanium slag. As a byproduct, we do get some molten iron. So all of these molten channels link together. And over here, I have all these oxygen furnaces that will handle all the steel production. So we take all that molten iron, transform it into steel, and then output it right here into this balancer. Once we have our titanium slag, we run that through a chemical plant with some chlorine that will make some titanium chloride impure. That will then get sent into our distillation stage 3, where it will be converted to pure titanium chloride. Once that has been purified, it goes into our second chemical plant, where we will make some titanium sponge and get some of that chlorine back. And it also uses a lot of salt for this process. So that's the main set of titanium right here. That's what most of this build is of the blueprint. And then we have our chlorine production, and then we have our aluminum up here that I was able to sneak in a little bit, and then some brine production. But once we have that titanium sponge, it comes all the way over here to our arc furnaces, where that titanium sponge will get melted down into molten titanium. So we have 4 arc furnaces doing that. And then right here in the middle, we have our aluminum cell that's making our molten aluminum. And then that goes in and gets mixed with that molten titanium, molten aluminum, and that's how we get our molten titanium alloy. And then from there, we have a bunch of cooled casters that all of that molten titanium will go into before making our molten titanium, or our titanium alloy output. Over here on this side, I just have some carbon dioxide scrubbing so we can make some graphite to recycle in the system, as well as our exhaust scrubbing over here. Some sulfur to acid production to jumpstart the settling tank for the red mud that we get part of the aluminum processing. But let's get this turned on. So I'm going to just unpause everything up here at the front, all of our thermal desalinators. I will get our boiler going for making steam that we need for this process. We are pretty low on power. I think at full draw, this blueprint will use about 250 megawatts if I turn everything on, not including what's being used over here. This is another probably about 60-ish, 70 megawatts of power being drawn. But we'll start this process off with just doing one titanium crusher going. So one titanium crusher can go feed 2 arc furnaces. 2 arc furnaces mean we need 2 chemical plants. 2 chemical plants mean we need 2 distillation stages. 1 more chemical plant. We'll also need a electrolyzer. We'll turn on our aluminum. We'll turn on our air separator, our brine. So that should get most of the first process started. And then from there, we'll also need some oxygen furnaces, some steel production, some of our cool casters over here, which we are getting a little low on people, so we'll need to unpause some of our settlement. We need to run at least 1 exhaust scrubbing for now. This crusher here for our aluminum, our settling tank, and then our titanium sponge. and more than likely at least one chemical plant, possibly two. So we'll turn on two. So that should get all of this process going, and then we will turn on one of our alloy mixers. So it should make just a small amount of titanium. We are only going to be able to run this at half speed. So that'll be 54 molten titanium alloy. So it'll just be about 2 of these. So 48 and a little bit. Oh, I already had one unpaused right there. Okay. So that gets the titanium going. For aluminum, the way I think I'll do it, yeah, we'll just turn on, we need way more aluminum. So I'll turn on, let's go unpause settlement. So we'll come over here, probably give us another 1,000 people or so. That should be what we need. But let's see. So I'm thinking, let's turn on half of aluminum for now. Which means I need one of these, half of these, half of these, half of those, half of these, and one of these. So basically, the bauxite comes down. We make the acid that we need for our acetylene tanks right here. So it's independent from the acid that we're using over here on the titanium side. Then we have our chemical plants where we take our bauxite, rinse it with some brine. That gets us our hydrated alumina and some red mud. Red mud goes back into the acetylene tank, mix it with some acid, we get slag and iron ore crushed. The iron ore crushed is going to go into this arc furnace here, where we will process that into steel. So I'll turn on this steel section here. Let's see, trucks are still good, power's still good. It's going to take a little bit of time for this system to boot up. But that's half of aluminum going. Let's see, we don't have any production stats yet. Let's see what's going on. Oh, graphite. What's going on with our graphite? Not connected. Oh, because you did not connect over here. Okay. Sure. Yeah, we'll plug that guy in right there. That should get us the graphite we need now. Yep, so processing through. That must mean our... How did we start making graphite? There was one process somewhere that kicked on enough carbon dioxide production to do this. So we should see some production starting soon for titanium. The other portion I want to turn on is this down here. So this is the aluminum expansion. And what I want to do is run at least one of these guys. And they are going to specifically be running the alumina that we need. So that's going to be right here. I have a balancer in tucked away right here underneath that runs all the way out to here, and we have a alumina output that we can make some of this alumina that we are going to need for this recipe here for sapphire wafers. And that goes into lens production, which goes into electronic fours. So we'll get this process turned on. So one crusher, one chemical plant, one rotary kiln. That means we need 2 settling tanks. So we'll turn 2 of those guys on. We have the oxygen being produced down there. And then we'll turn on our arc furnaces as well as the steel production. So this should help with us making some more steel. So we should be good there. Let's see. We have our first craft, perfect. And we have our first set of alumina coming out. Perfect. Yeah, we'll only be making 24, but that's enough to run 3 of these guys full out, which will run, what is that, 24 sapphire wafers, so we can run 12 of these guys. Right, yeah. So 12 lens polishers, which will make us 24 lenses, which is enough to run 4 electronic form machines. So that should be plenty of production for the moment. The only thing we might want to do, depending on our power and how it's looking, is turning on more aluminum production. So we are currently at, should be 72 aluminum being produced. How's our titanium? Titanium has not produced yet. I think it was just the belt backing up. So similar to Satisfactory, where you gotta wait for your manifolds to back up, depending on how you set up your assemblers. Same idea here, because we just have connectors on these belts, so it just does a 50-50 split each way down, so we just gotta wait for all of this to back up, and then we should be producing full out. This guy just needs a couple more crafts, and then we'll get our first set of titanium going. But aluminum is up and running. Yep, we are up to 72, and that's what we want. And then that alumina production is going as well. So alumina just comes out, jumps underneath this bridge here into this storage over here before it jumps on this belt and goes to our main storage area here. So in preparation for this episode and getting to space today, I hooked up all of the storage boxes, so once we start producing everything, we'll have storages here, as well as I hooked in our belts and got everything running down this open area here, as well as I brought diamonds over, as well as our cooking oil. So we should have everything we need, hopefully, to start working on our space program. Okay, when it comes to space, let's talk about it. So we need a rocket assembly depot. This is what starts the process where we can start making rocket ones. They have a cargo capacity of 42 or 4 crew members, and those will go onto a rocket launch pad, where we will send up the space station parts, as well as we can send up crew supplies, electronic force for science, space probe parts to find asteroids, and then asteroid booster parts to bring those asteroids onto the island. When it comes to station parts, there's basic, which we want to get off of as soon as possible. And then we have the actual station parts, the good ones. You can think of station parts as maintenance for your space station. And when it comes to launching your rocket, there's 3 liquids that we need. So we need hydrogen, oxygen, that's the fuel for the rocket, and then we need water for the launch pad for sound suppression. So this is kind of the idea I'm going with for a rocket launch area. So we'll bring all of our items in over here. Everything we need to construct the rockets will be brought in on these belts. And let's look at our production. So I've started laying out some stuff here that I have recipes for. Some of the stuff like this down here, these are all based off of numbers down here looking at this. So let's start with composite panels. This is what we need the aluminum for, and this is what most of our aluminum is going to go towards. You can think of composite panels as it's a 1-to-1 ratio, so for every aluminum we can make a composite panel. We make 32 of them at a time, and we need composite panels to go into our composite core basics, which are needed for the space maintenance, the station parts. So there's 2 versions here. Once we have the research done, we'll be swapping over to composite cores as soon as possible. Which will start using titanium and electronic 3s, but we use half the aluminum comparatively. Well, for the same number, it's the same. So that's one stage of the process. For the composite cores, these will go into pretty much all of our space parts besides our crew, our crew supplies, and our electronic 4s. So we need station parts. Each assembler will make 4 sets of station parts. So over here I have it laid out for 8 station parts. 8 assemblers making station parts, so we'll be able to produce 32 station parts at maximum, which is definitely overkill. And then for the space probe parts as well as the asteroid booster parts, we need 16 for each, so 2 assemblers for each assembler producing their respective item. So I just doubled it up so we can produce up to 2 assemblers worth of each of them. So we need another 8 here doing composite cores. So we have 8 for the station parts, 8 for these other space goodies that we want. And then I figure 4 for backup in case we want to do anything with them. There is a trade that we can do. So we could trade composite cores for fuel gas or limestone or bauxite, which we might use this recipe or this trade for bauxite eventually. So we'll have some spare production available for that. When it comes to the other items that we need, so if we look at our station parts, we need solar cells, mono and chemical fuel. So solar cell mono, we make 8 per craft, and we also need 8, or we need a crystallizer making silicon wafers as well. So we make 8 per craft, so this can support 1 assembler producing solar cell monos can support 2 assemblers doing station parts. So we have 8 assemblers doing station parts, so we just need 4 assemblers doing solar panels. When it comes to chemical fuel, we only need 2 chemical fuel per assembler, and we make 8 per chemical plant. So we need 16 total, and between 2 of them we can make 16. So that's all we need for that one. Here is our basic design for the basic station parts. So we'll need some of this chemical fuel, but these 3 assemblers, we're just going to run these as is and make this a temporary build that we get rid of as soon as possible. The other items, we won't really be able to start laying them out until we have the research done, so we'll hold off on that. For now, we'll just get these processes set up and started. And then let's look at electronic 4s. So these are what we need for space science, as well as the space probe parts and the compact reactors that go into the asteroid booster parts. We don't need them for much. And I overbuilt this like usual. So we have 18 assemblers doing electronic 4s. Way overkill, I think. Let me see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 18 of them. So I've gone through and mapped out all the items that we need. So we need, what is it? 18 times, 36 diamonds. And it's 1-to-1, so we need 18 diamond reactors just to run the electronic 4 assemblers. We also need diamonds for our chemical plants to make the diamond paste using that cooking oil. And I've laid out everything, so the diamonds we are good on, so those are being produced over here by our food build. So we won't build those on site, we'll just bring them in. The alumina, we are producing, we need, 9 of these machines? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 crystallizers making sapphire wafers. That's going to be 72 alumina or 3 of our aluminum production cells. So about half of this build here is going to go straight towards alumina production if we are doing that full out. And then we have our lens polishers. So it's going to take that diamond paste that we are making from the diamonds and cooking oil, as well as those sapphire wafers and some ethanol. Ethanol production I just tacked in here in our refinery, just taking some hydrogen and carbon dioxide that we are using and making the ethanol as well as some water. So this is just using the extra carbon dioxide that we are making throughout the base to produce that. And then I couldn't fit the storages in over here, so I just put them right here. I figure we're not going to expand out chlorine production that much or brine. So it should be safe there. And then I just have everything jumping over or running underneath this ramp here to some pipes that are ready to go depending on where we actually build all of this. But let's put down, I'm thinking we start with our electronic 4s. So I'll move all of this stuff up here so it's out of the way. The rockets we'll wait on for now, but let's put together a build for this. So I'm thinking maybe we could do something like that. That would keep everything together. We don't need that much of a space now. We'll probably just do a 2-tile gap. I think that would be fine. We can bring in our different items. Oops. Off by 1. Of course we are. So we'll bring in our different items here on the end. What we could do is some small storages just so we have them, so we can see how everything's going. So this build, we need diamonds, cooking oil, and the alumina. So this will be cooking oil, this will be diamonds, and this is our alumina. And let's see. Okay, so that fits within there. And then we'll just run a belt down like this. Does not need to be tier 3. So we'll connect in our diamonds. Let's see. So we are producing some titanium. Yeah, it's going to be about 28 is what we're producing. And then our aluminum, we are up to 72. Since we are producing aluminum, it's coming down here. What I'll do is come over here to our storage for the consumer electronics, and we'll get some of these going. Let's look how much we need. We are up to 48. So we'll do 8 of them unpaused, so each one's making 6. So yeah, doing 48. We'll do 10 of them. That way we are making 60. So we can fill up the storage pretty fast. That means we are using 30 of our aluminum here. So we'll have another 42 aluminum available for everything we're going to use for space. Unless we want to unpause some more of that aluminum production. But we'll come back here. This guy, we'll just do a tier 2 belt. Don't need anything crazy. So we'll hook all of this up. So there's that. This side should be relatively easy. We'll just do a tier 2 belt. And we'll just go all the way down. And put some connectors in. So that gets us the alumina going. This guy is flipped for some reason. That would have annoyed me. So we got that one. Now we need to do some flat conveyors. And we'll connect these all in. That one's going to be annoying to get around. No, we can't shorten that distance at all. Okay, there we go. And everything else should be good. So plug that guy in right there. This guy, we can jump up and over like that. And connect that in. Okay, now we just need connectors. There we go. So that should make the diamond paste that we need, as well as all the sapphire wafers. Okay, so we got that. Now we need to figure out how we are going to lay this design out. So kind of working through like this, and then bring all the lenses out the top. That could be an option. If we do something like that, we'll need, at least a 2 space here. And then we can just kind of weave the belts all the way through. These guys just need a space of 1 between them. So we'll do something like that, and one more. Yeah, and then we can hook these guys up side by side. That means we're gonna have to do a space of 5 between everything, so we can get lifts on each side. There's that. And then these last 2, we'll just do like that. Okay, so that starts that process. What I'm actually thinking is we rotate this whole thing. Say we want our storages to be on that line. Then we can take our um, assembly machines or assemblers, and maybe put them over on this side. Then we have our output right here. We bring in ethanol right here. So electronic 4 is out right there, and then go from there. Yeah, I think that's a plan. So we have all of this output. I definitely forgot about this guy. In that case, yeah, let's actually rotate that. Can we rotate you as well? There we go. Yeah, we could do something like that. So that becomes a connector right there. So that's height 1, height 0. Perfect, that's what we want. And then this alumina needs to go all the way around. So let's jump up to height 2. I think one more. And then like that. Then we can get this guy out here. Same with this guy. And then we'll just go down this way, wrap around, come through the middle, and then down this way, and then end over here on this one. So if we are doing that, that means we need our diamond paste at height 1. And our connector, try and use, copy paste this if we can. So we do something like that. Get a one right there. So if we do that, we would need to, yeah, move all of this over by 1. Okay. So it's gonna be right there. And we just need to extend out the belt slightly, looks like. Actually, that's incorrect. So we need this one, and then through to there. And then this guy underneath. There's that one. Oh, those connectors went away. There we go. So I think that should be tileable. Yep, and then we just need to extend out the belt by 1 on each side. So like that. Oh, just 1 on one side. Okay. So like that. Oh, no. What's going on? Right. Are we not matching up? What's going on? Yeah, that guy matches. That guy matches. This guy does not match. Why do you not match? There we go. Okay, one space between everything. And there's that. Okay. So that's good. So that goes all the way around there. Then we'll run the belt out one space away. And then go back through this way. Which means we'll go something like this. And copy that and raise it up as well. And then this guy will be right there, like this. Okay, what's going on? These guys are off by one. Which means this whole line needs to shift down one. Okay, you're good, you're good, you're good, you're good. Okay, now we're good. There we go. Oh, except for these are going to be inverse or reversed. So go like that. And that should connect everything there, there, and yeah, there. Okay, so that gets that one. Good to go. This guy's gonna be that height. And then this one's gonna come through like that. There we go. Reconnect you in, and then like that. Okay, so it goes down, snakes its way through. We need to do something. Let's see, we can actually, yeah, go like that. So we would do something like this, flip this guy around like that. Put a connector in right there. And then we just connect all of these guys in. So we'll have the snake of lenses following this around as well. So we'll come out over here and then plug into our production over there. Or actually we could just flip this guy around. Because we need something at height 3 anyways. Because we got 3 different items that we got to feed into those assemblers for electronic 4. So our lenses will be up at that height. There we go. So we'll collect all the lenses on this side, run them through, and then straight down this way. And we should be... I think we can just go like this. So we flip it. And yep. So just like that. And belts are in the correct direction. Perfect. So this guy connects in right there. And this guy connects in right there. Awesome. So we got that done. Ethanol, we could probably just bring straight down the middle at height 3 and then fork it off onto each side and connect it in that way. I think that would work. Why are we out of fuel? You almost made it. So close. And yeah, we had some trains back up because of that. Hopefully nobody else runs out of fuel. Okay, so we got that. This guy, I'll just go that. Get rid of that one and downgrade this guy to tier 1. So we see where it ends. Okay, so that gets that one done. The ethanol, I'm thinking could just bring it in probably right here. So if we are doing ethanol, it's going to be right there. We do ethanol right here. We do each one of these needs 2, so it's not that much, so we'll just do a tier 3 pipe. Run this at height 2 all the way down to there. And then downgrade to height 2, or pipe 2. Connect that in, jump over, and connect that in. Oops, I want it to match that OCD. Let's see, there we go. And got this almost done. Perfect. Actually, I think we got one more row after this. Yep. So this guy, just go like that. This one, just do something like that. Okay, so that's our ethanol. These storages, I will turn off trucks being able to do anything with them. So that's good. Now comes the fun part of getting our electronics going. So we do something like that. We could probably... Yeah, we'll just do that. Okay, so this guy comes right through here, down the middle, and we'll just end it right there. What we will do as well to make this a little easier, right? Yep. So we go like that, put a connector in. Then we do another one at the next height, another connector, and then what do we need the most of? It looks like electronics 3, 6 times 18, 108, so tier 2 belt should be plenty. So this guy will go that way. This one connects in, oops, other way. So right there. And then this one, we reverse it. Like that. And then we do our connectors in on this side. Same on the other side. And so we'll bring everything down to the front here. And if we go like that, that should be... Can I go like that? Oh, I can. Perfect. Get rid of these last ones here on the end. Oops. Definitely forgot that. Okay. This one here, we need to put in our connector. And like that. Okay. Now, let's go like that. Now I can get rid of these two belts on this end and this one on this end. So we have our two connectors. We need electronic 3s and diamonds. So we already have diamonds over here. So we just need electronic 3s. We have 3 items right there already. Could I make this work? Probably, but it'd be a pain. So instead, we'll just do... yeah, we'll just do this one right here. So this is electronic 3s. So electronic 3s there on the bottom. I would like a big storage. So something like this. Diamonds, I would need to... let's see, we'll just do a lift right here, I think. So we'll run this guy over height. We'll have to jump up to height 4. Okay. So height 4 across, jump down to height 1, and then in. That means this guy needs to... actually, let's just reverse this. So we do that right there instead. Good old autosave. Okay. So we do something like that. And then we run this around. Then all of our production comes out over here on this end. And then we have our electronic 4s. I can actually cut some of this back. Oh, that would be too easy. Okay. So we do something like that. Alright, so that's our electronic 4 production. No mining designations for gold. These guys have taken everything out. Okay. What do we have left? Still got gold down there, even deeper. Let's have them dig down to here. Then, in that case. Let's see, consumer electronics, we're up to 3.4K. And aluminum, we are sitting on 1.4. And then titanium, we are producing. And yeah, we have some backing up here. Perfect. All right, now time to figure out where we are going to put in this build. So that's our electronic 4s. So that's good. Settlement water, I've researched all the way up to number 10. So we are decreasing consumption by 20% in the settlement. Rainwater yield, I've already maxed out to 50%. Same with tree growth. Don't want to touch housing capacity yet. Maintenance output is already done. Let's start getting into the vehicle fuel use. Save fuel on the trucks, which means they don't have to stop for fuel as often. But this should be the big, complicated build done. This will start making us electronics 4. I'm thinking we start this process maybe right over here. Gives us a little bit of room to expand the refinery for any of these other processes that we need. Mainly just ethanol if we ever decide to use that, or thermal desalination over here, or sour water stripping. Everything else I think is fine. So yeah, we'll go right over here. That should fit everything. Yep, right on that tile. It gets the small storages on this tile here, and the big storage sticks out a little bit, but that's fine. So we'll build this guy here. We'll let the trucks get to work on that. The next thing we want to build is more than likely... Let's do these three. So it should be a relatively simple build. We need aluminum for this guy. We need aluminum over here. We do. Okay. So we need aluminum for both of these processes. And I'm thinking, what if we do something like this? So this guy would just connect in. We only need a tier 1 belt. We can pull solar cells off this side, feed in our aluminum and glass on this side, feed in water and silicon on this side. Would be nice to share the aluminum over here on this side though. So what if we do something like that? So aluminum we would want to share, meaning we would put that at height 1. And then this guy right there. And then we could do glass right here on this level. I don't think we need that much glass. Yeah, just 4. So we do that. Then we would need to bring in ammonia and fuel gas. That would be easy. Those are just pipes. Then we take one of these. We could do a opening here in the middle, bring in silicon at that next level. So something like that. Bring in silicon at height 2. Have that come over to here and then drop in. Yeah, and then this guy would continue on. This guy continues on. This one we just flip around. We do that one right there. Then we get our aluminum again. So right there. And then our glass continues on. Then we add a connector and then do glass right there. Which means I can downgrade that guy as well. Then we could do a lift. Don't really need to do it, but I think it will look nice. Look nicer. So we need 24 and 24. So that should be fine. Like that. Oops. Oh no. There we go. Fat fingered that one. So there's that. Then we just bring in water right above, I'm thinking. So that'd be height 4. We can drop water down to height 3. And actually increase this guy out to tier 3 pipe. Don't need tier 4s on this, so just stick with a tier 3. And then silicon goes right there. And then our solar cells will just come out like this. And we're making 8 each, so should be relatively easy. And then we do same thing. We just double that again. And there we go. So that's our silicon build, or our solar cell build. And then if we ever want to expand solar cells, it should be relatively easy to do in case we want to put down solar panels and stuff. And this guy, figure, yeah, we'll just turn them this way. So we need aluminum, glass. We'll do glass on this side. Or is it, if I could spell, oh, not iron, glass. There we go. So glass, aluminum, and water to get this process going. And then we need fuel gas and ammonia over on this side. And then we are going to want large storages for solar cells, as well as the chemical fuel. So now we need to fit all of this in. So how do we want to do that? Like the idea of having aluminum all the way down here. Probably do a 2 space just to be safe. So we do something like that. So 2 space. Actually, we can get rid of all of this. Then we slide that over by 1. Then we can get this guy through right here. Pipes are easy to work around, so we'll do like another 2 space right there. So we just do something like that. And then on this side, we would do glass and water. Ooh. We'll go like that then. Another 2 space. Have our solar cells going in right there. Then we just need to bring in aluminum and glass through the middle here, as well as the 3 pipes, or even bringing them around the outside, which if we're doing that, I'd rather have this extend out by 1. So we'll do something like that instead. So glass is the very bottom one here. Aluminum is the next one up, which we can just go probably just like that. Let's do a connector there. There's that. Oh, we need silicon. Oops. Silicon. Silicon poly. In that case, let's get rid of this guy. We'll move that one there and then have water stick out a little bit. So we do something like that. And then this guy, I think we can just connect straight in like that. Perfect. And then this is our water pipe, and probably just drag from that side. There we go. Then these guys, what I will do is probably just run over at height 3. So like that. And then the fuel gas, we can run this guy at we could do height 3 on there, and then duck it underneath here, and do this kind of like weird underneath thing. Nah. Yeah, we'll just do 8-4. Okay, so height 4, drop down. This guy, height 4, drop down. This guy, drop down. And downgrade these pipes to tier 2. Tier 2 and tier 2, tier 2. Okay, so that gets that going. It should be relatively easy to pull all the pipes and belts in on one side here and then run it down and connect them in with lifts for these 3. But let's move this over here. And we'll do something like that. How did you stay behind? Okay, there we go. Perfect. And let's get all of this built by the trucks. And turn off all of this stuff. Pause all of these buildings so they're not running for the moment. And probably turn off all of the supply request. Same on this side. There we go. So we'll let the trucks get that going. And that gets us some more items that we need. And I think the last thing we'll work on is this one before we do the basic construction parts, or the station parts. So that's going to be 2 of you guys going back to back like this. Do something like that. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 20 of them. So 320 on each side. So that'll be fine. And then this guy should be relatively easy. We just need to bring in aluminum, steel, and plastic. So let's start hooking that guy up. All right, let's start hooking everything up then. So easiest way to do this, probably put the aluminum Yeah, we just need pretty much 2 belts of aluminum out. So let's do a space of 2, just like the rest. And we'll go... Actually, we'll go like this. So we'll have this guy go all the way down. Let's do tier 1 belt to connect everything. And then I'll need to upgrade this belt to tier 3. That's bringing in everything. So you... Oops. There we go. And you go back to tier 1. And then what we'll do is bring a second belt out and around like this. So something like that. Actually, I want to bring you over like that. And downgrade you. And hook everything else in. So we need to do that because the aluminum use on each side of this build is 320 at max. So that means we're going to need a belt for each since our limit is 450. But with that, now we should be good to put in these lifts. And then we just need steel and plastic. Plastic, we are going to be using 160 plastic, so that's fine for everything to be on one belt. So if we do plastic, it's not going to work. We could do plastic there, steel there, and then have our aluminum out in the front. So like that. Do space of 3 again, and then our composite panels right there. So we'll jump this guy around like that. This guy, we should be good to jump through this way to right there. And steel. Oh, steel's not going to work. Okay, in that case, let's just do some lifts then. So we can do a connector here that will get us the throughput that we need. Bring that guy down to there. And then for steel, we should be good to just put in another lift. We could go right there. And then right there. So we do something like that. Connect that guy in right there. And then this guy. And just go all the way down. Okay. So that guy's gonna go right there. This one's gonna go right there. So let's connect those in. They connected good. Yeah, this one This build should be pretty quick to set up. And then we'll go like that. And like that. Okay, and that gets everything connected. All right, so we got everything connected. Now we just need to run our belts out. So something like that. These guys. Yeah, I thought so. Gonna be an issue. Okay. All right. We'll do that then. And what is it? 5 tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Come on. There we go. And that connects everything in. And final one on the end. Okay, so that gets us all of the composite panel production that we need. Let's take this. There we go. I think that works. And then it keeps everything on the same line. Just the way I want it. Okay, so we'll let the trucks build that. Did I forget to turn any of these? Nope. Okay. So we got all of that done. The only thing we really have left at the moment is just these guys. Which are just going to be composite panels, steel and electronics, steel, silicon, and glass. And then the chemical fuel, and that's it for these guys. Okay. So give me one moment. I'll get all of these hooked up with all the inputs that we need and put some bridges across here so trucks can keep driving through. So I'll get all of this hooked up and then we'll go from there. So I'll see you guys here in one moment. All right, we are back. So we got the production set up. So all the belts are hooked up. So we should be good. I've started producing some of the basic station parts, as well as electronic fours, the solar panels, chemical fuel, everything else that we need. Let's start looking at our rocket silos. So this is the space that I want between them. So it's basically a space of, what was it? I think 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, space of 5 between them if you want to recreate this. And then the rocket silo, I just went ahead and started running belts all into lifts here with balancers on them. So it should be relatively easy for us to hook everything up. So let's copy this guy. And I'm thinking we could do something back here. I'm thinking I don't want to go past this pipe here, as the farthest will go in this direction. So I think we go one back from over there and right there. So we'll do our first rocket silo there, and then eventually we can move these down. Let's see. So these should all hook together. And I'm hoping I can get 4 in here. I can. Perfect. Probably a little overkill on rocket silos, but that's what we're here for. So we'll do that. We can start hooking stuff up. We'll get the first rocket silo built. So that should be everything right here. And what we need is water, oxygen, and hydrogen. Oxygen we will need to make. So we'll need to take that into account, but we'll let the trucks get started on everything else. The other thing we need to do is start running our composite panels. So I'm thinking we could just run something over through here. Yeah, let's do that. Eventually this machine will move, so I'm perfectly fine with that being right there. If we go this way, we'll need to go on the other side of that, those pipes. So we'll run this all the way down to there. So that will be our composite panels on the bottom. The next one I want to hook up is steel, which I have a belt balancer here. And eventually all of this stuff will move, so I'm fine with it looking a little spaghetti right there at the start. And there's that one. What we should also consider here is a vehicle ramp. So if we do a vehicle ramp, we could do something like that. We'll use some Unity to get that built so the vehicles can get through. Hopefully that doesn't get in the way. If it does, we might end up moving it. Moving that ramp. And the vehicles will just be out of luck. The next item that we need is these electronic tubes for the rocket itself. And eventually that will get replaced with electronic 3s. So let's just pull this guy through here, height 2. And then we'll drop down to, actually let's just drop down to height 0. Yep, we can go on this side of it. And then say, let's come up right there. So here's our electronic 2s. And that's all the items we need at the moment, but to future-proof us a little, let's get the titanium up and running as well. So that's going to be height 3. And then drop this down to height 1. So we can go under the bridge. And there we go. So we'll get all of that unpaused. And I think for the first rocket, what we could do is just let the trucks deliver everything. It's not that many items, and I think I'll worry about belting everything up later. So let's just go turn this guy on. We want these at a high priority. And then we can allow trucks to carry stuff from here. Okay. So while that's working on there, we will set up our first rocket. That way it is it keeps building this forever if there's room available. And then we'll also use some Unity since I'm sitting on 1,000 Unity at the moment. So let's use some of that Unity to finish this up a little quicker. It gets all of this built. The next thing we need to do is grab some water. Water we have right here. So I'm thinking we need to bring water in anyways, and hydrogen. So instead of doing that, let's just grab one of these guys. Move the stuff out of the way. And we just need to bring in water and hydrogen. So we'll put this guy down over here. And I'm thinking something like that. So that should work. We'll build that with Unity. And then I know my water pipe is the top one, so we'll bring that one down and over first. So water, 8.4. There we go. 8.4, drop down to height 0. I'll come out to the red brick and then go like that. It means I don't need that anymore, and just double checking. Yep, water is top. So there's that one. The hydrogen, I believe, is the next pipe. Yep. So hydrogen is the one right underneath. So we will go from here out height 4 over. And then height 3. Oh, actually, one less. There we go. And there's our hydrogen pipe hooked up. So I set it up so that there's individual storages for each silo. So we should see if there's any issues potentially. And we'll unpause everything. So we'll get that started. And now we need to set up our oxygen production. So oxygen, I think we'll keep it simple and just use a air separator. We could do something like with the electrolyzers to make the hydrogen and oxygen. But I think I'll stick with just using air separators. And the way I am going to do this is something like this. So we'll do so it comes through like that. There we go. How many of these do I want? Each one is making 36 oxygen. I think the rocket only uses 40 oxygen. We are building our first rocket. Let's just do probably do 5 of them. Or 10 of them total. But 5 like this. And if we need more, then we can add them in later. Can we fit them in over here? We cannot. That's fine. I think just putting them in right over here, reusing this bridge should work for us, and then we just connect it in like that. And we'll use that Unity. Low supply of oxygen and hydrogen, that's fine. Actually, hydrogen should be here by now. What's going on? Oh, I forgot to unpause the pipe. Alright. So we'll get rid of that pipe. Fuel gas. Do I want to keep that pipe going? Oh yeah, we're running into power issues. Okay. Yeah, you use 2 megawatts of power. So we're just waiting on hydrogen now. But we should have oxygen loaded. Yeah, 40. And then this guy will be station parts and electronics. We'll also have the trucks bring in this stuff as well. I'll give them something to do. There we go. And then oops, am I missing? Oh, I just need these guys. There we go. Sets up all the import and output requirements. And there we go. Don't need these anymore. Get rid of them. There's that. And we are ready to launch. So let's see. Anything else we need to do? I don't think so. I think we can start this process. That way we can get into unlocking the space crew and the crew supplies. We can turn that on. So we got the next one ready. Let's deploy our space station. We need 80 station parts. We can only launch 42 at a time. All right. So that gets us the first rocket launch. This guy will put the next rocket on. We could potentially even do 2 rockets, rocket depots. And just launch them both from here. But we'll see. See how it goes. There's that. Okay, let's kick that speed up. Take a look at the space station. So we got the first 42 delivered. This will deliver the next one. Rocket's ready to go. Just waiting on hydrogen. I could probably put a connector in right there, and that should load a little quicker, I think. I'll have to take a look. But space station is up and running, so we are burning through 0.25 station parts every 60 seconds. And we are getting a 10% bonus to our research and 0.15 Unity just for having the station up. So let's swap our research over so we can get the next one going. This should be relatively quick, I think. What are we up to? 141 research between 4 machines. So 564 research right now. And I have research bonus all the way up. Perfect. We'll get our recycling efficiency turned back on. And what we can also do is unpause some more workforce. Yeah, it should be good for now. Our power is redlining. Yeah, it took a second for the auto balance to kick on. for the nuclear power over here. So now this guy's running full out. We are sitting around 580. Each one of these is 15. So let's run three sets. So power level 3. And that should keep our inertia high here. That way our power doesn't brown out. Okay. So with that, we are just waiting on the crewed space station. While we are doing that, is there anything else we want to do? What we could do is set up a backup power. How would we go about doing that? We could do diesel power. That might not be the worst idea. Just to hold us over until we get into fast breeding reactors. So if we are doing some backup power, let's do a diesel generator. Flip it this way. You pause. Yeah, I want a space of 3 so I can run a pipe through the middle here. And through there. And then tier 2 pipe. We'll do diesel on the bottom. So we'll do diesel on the bottom, exhaust on the top. And I think my power priority over here I need to change. Yeah, I want these guys to all be 14. Year 14, 14. And then we'll set the diesel generator power to be 15. So there's that. This should be tileable now. And let's look. So biggest thing we'll need to worry about is exhaust. So we can run 37.5 of these generators off of one exhaust pipe. So if we do that, how's our exhaust scrubbing over here doing? We do have a full one available here. But I think what we want to do is copy this design. So like this. We'll hook up another one. Oops. Yeah, we want that right there. These guys are all online. We want that guy to go right there. And then these just connect in like that. That should be water in as well. Nope. Okay. Water. There we go. So water's good. All of that's good. Okay, so we'll build that. Then we will also do probably 2 rows of these, I'm thinking. And then we can join everything back up together. We have room right about here. So we'll do something like that. Put in our diesel storage over here. Yeah, we'll just do something like this. This exhaust pipe we want to run out probably here on this line. And then what I want to do is connect it in over here. So like that. So let's get all of that built. We'll turn off trucks being able to access this. Our research, we will go back to our vehicle fuel use. The next thing we need to do is come over to our settlement. Part of my blueprint for the food processor is it already accounts for crew supplies. So we can just enable that recipe and we already have everything here ready to go. And then we'll start producing crew supplies and the trucks can just bring it over. Next thing we need to do to get the next research is just upgrade. We need to send 120 space parts up. So while we're waiting on that, we can get our backup generators going. So these guys, so that's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 4, 28, 32, 36. And we could handle 37.5. So this will all be backup power for us. And then this guy is diesel. If we have 36 of them running that need 18 fuel each, it's going to be 648 fuel, so just one pipe. And we got diesel right over here. So we'll run this guy over. We could actually tuck in behind right there. Or just go right over the top, right over here. There we go. Out of the way. And use some more Unity. How's our space station? We got one more rocket launch needed. We got our crew supplies, perfect. Vehicle fuel use 4 is done. Researching number 5 now. Okay. And then this should... Oh, forgot to turn all of these off and... Oops, not pause. Yeah, you're already set to number 15. Okay, and now we have diesel coming online. So now we should be safe on power. 36 of them times 5 megawatts each. So we're going to get an additional 180 megawatts of power. Probably help if I connected this guy in. There we go. So, should act as a safety buffer for us. And station has been upgraded. Perfect. Which means we can cancel this research, get our orbital research done. And I think that's going to take a little bit of time. So... yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time. We have everything ready for space research. It's just going to be a matter of enabling the space crew here. And this is the order I'd like to do it in. So station parts keeps the station up in the air. Electronics, you need it for space science, and then crew is the last one that I put on there. Since you don't get space research if you don't have crew. Same with the global research bonuses and stuff. So, like to ensure that I am getting all the space science I can. But this is going to, yeah. How expensive is this? It's 17,000. So it's gonna take a little bit of time for this to finish up. So I think I will end the episode there. All I'm gonna do in between episodes is just knock out the Rocket 2 research, the fast breeder reactor, the space probe, and the asteroid boosters, and then probably start in on some of these infinite techs, getting some more. Primarily maintenance, getting this higher and higher is going to be important. Um, but yeah, I think I will leave the episode there. So thank you so much for hanging out and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.